Ladies, have you been led astray? Did you diddle where maybe you shouldn't have dabbled? Have you been unfaithful to your husband, wife, partner, main squeeze? Well, there's a judgment-free podcast just for you. Raw Truth, Stories of Female Infidelity, hosted by Rebecca Adams, tells the stories of these women from their perspective, anonymously and without judgment.
I met the first man I had an emotional affair with online. He was far away, but he provided me with all of the emotional validation that my marriage was lacking. The first time we talked, he showed an interest in me as a person. It was refreshing.
If you need to come clean, get it off your chest, confess your sins with no Hail Marys required, then Raw Truth, Stories of Female Infidelity is the podcast for you. And remember, it's completely anonymous and judgment-free.
Raw Truth, Stories of Female Infidelity is available wherever you listen to podcasts. Subscribe today.
Is there a such thing as pride in appearance anymore? You know, at one point before social media, you would hear someone say, I wouldn't get caught dead wearing that in public. Now, if you say that about someone, you can be slammed or canceled for your statement. So where do we draw the line on what's a ridiculous outfit, what's a lazy attempt to dress up, and what is actually acceptable and or empowering? I mean, we'll discuss that, Lizzo, bonnet wearing, and much more on tonight's Talk to Q radio show. Buckle up.
T2Q Radio.
Hey, what up, Q? What up, Radio World?
What's going on, people? I want to welcome all of you to the season 11 premiere of the Talk to Q radio show. My name is Quincy, and this is my show. I changed up the theme song to something original because I got tired of YouTube dinging me for copyright restrictions for my previous thing. So I had to do like Teddy P and Let It Go. And well, now that I think about it, I might get dinged for that. Anyway, I'm broadcasting live from the T2Q Man Cave. It is Tuesday, August the 31st, 2021. You can follow me on social media by searching Talk to Q. Okay, that's where you can find me. Please subscribe and share with people so that the show can grow. Now, we're going to discuss fashion and more tonight. So let me go to the T2Q phone lines and see where I want to start. Let me go here to the, let's see, what is it called? Is it the Yellowhammer State? I think is what they call the state of Alabama. And welcome on for the first time, Miss Belle Janice. Belle, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. How are you doing tonight?
I am outstanding.
That's wonderful.
So glad to have you in the mix. I've known Belle for years on Twitter, but this is her first time coming on to the show.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be here.
All right.
Glad to be here.
Let me go back to the phones and see who else I have here.
Are you tired of watching TV with...
Oops, that is the wrong thing I just played. Let's try this. From the 248 area code, the outskirts of the Motor City of Detroit, please welcome on the author, the show host, the show legend, Miss Crystal Hickerson. What it do, Chris?
Hey, Q. How are you?
I am doing well. So glad to have you on.
Glad to be here.
All right. And let me go here to the Lone Star State of Texas and welcome back to the show, but her first time on video, Tiffany, the stylish millennial. What's going on, Tiffany?
Hello. How you doing, Q?
I am doing well. So glad to have you back.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right. And I got a couple other people hanging out. I will get to you in just a moment. So Um, Tiffany, let me start with you first. You're the wardrobe stylist, so this is kind of in your wheelhouse. Which fashion mistake do people make more? What they wear as far as their body type is concerned, or wearing something inappropriate in the wrong places?
Ooh, that's odds as good as evens on that one. I'm gonna say it's a 55-45 split, but that 55 is going to be things that don't flatter their body type. But I think it's kind of like not necessarily. More often, I see people like kind of trying to hide their shape, so they're in stuff that's way too voluminous or swallows them up, and in an effort to make them look smaller, actually adds volume and makes them look. So that's what I see more often.
Okay. All right. Kind of lost you there for a second, but you're back.
Yep.
And
Am I
so,
back?
yes. And so, Bill, let me go to
What's going
you.
on?
And does style represent who we are? And are we wrong to expect people to not judge us by it?
It does represent who we are, and it took me a minute to get into styling. Actually, I'm always looking up like what to wear, as she was stating, what complements my shape, because I was very bad at trying to, because I'm heavier, so I was very bad at trying to hide my shape when it was actually making me look bigger and bulky and uncomfortable. And I started playing around with different hairstyles and so forth. And it brings out, sometimes with me, depending on what I'm doing or where I'm going, it does bring out a different personality, of yourself. So I myself, I love styling. I'm all for it, and I'm all for people being comfortable with who they are. And a lot of people get looked down on, oh, well, why they have on that, why they have on this. And it's probably just a part of their personality and who they are. That's how I feel about styling nowadays.
All right. Fair enough. And Crystal, what do you think? Does style represent who we are? And are we wrong to not expect people to judge us by it?
Yeah, style can represent who you are if you are actually wearing what you are comfortable in. Some people, they like wearing casual clothes and things of that nature, but they don't, because they want to stay with whatever fad or trend is out, and they usually look like they're not comfortable when they're wearing it, because you can take something that is very casual and you can also make it very stylish, and because that's who you are. So I think that's the most important thing. But as far as it being important, I think it kind of is, depending on your situation and where you are and what you're doing. Your style should also match your environment.
All right. And one more question for Tiffany, and then I'm going back to the phone lines to get these other callers on. And Tiffany, should the focus for a lot of people, let's talk about everyday wardrobe, okay, everyday attire. Everyone doesn't want to dress up for everything. So should the focus be more about being presentable in public, or should you just only worry about being comfortable?
No, you shouldn't, because that's a cop out. I know that sounded like I was kind of quick there, but there is a way to balance comfort with a sense of decorum. Like, you don't, just because you're comfortable in it doesn't mean you need to go out in it. I have a friend of mine, she says you are never too sick to put on a pair of jeans. Like, unless you're on your deathbed and running to CVS to pick up a prescription and then go back home on your couch, don't come out of the house in sweats. She's not a dressy person. And even she's like, there are just some things to help your mental health, to keep you in certain states of mind. When you're doing something, you show up for that occasion. You don't go to a football game dressed for a golf match. Like, there are certain things you wear for certain places and certain things you don't. There's a way to balance comfort and decorum for where you're going or what you're doing.
All right. Sounds good to me. Let me go back to the phone lines and see if I can get a man.
Hey, what up, Q? What up, Radio World?
Eminem, what it do? You
Oh
know, I
man,
I just thought about your theme song, man. That's gonna be a copyright thing.
That's a
Dang.
copyright.
Yeah, I gotta
No,
change
no,
that.
no,
But
no.
it fits them so well.
It
oh
does.
yeah, yeah. Maybe you have to get a somebody to play it live, like a live
Ha-
band, and then record them. Then
Hire
No.
somebody
just a
to do a cover of the
little
song.
yeah, a
Mm.
little trick of the trade or
You know what? That's not a
synthesize
bad
that sucker.
idea. That's not a
Uh huh.
bad idea. All right. And before I get to you, let me bring on another show legend who's in the mix. From the 732 area code, the Garden State of New Jersey, please welcome on the show enforcer, the show legend, Ray. Ray, what's happening?
Hey, what's up, Q? What's up, cuz? Ladies, how
Going on,
y'all
bud?
doing tonight?
Hey, Ray.
Hello.
All right. And it's going to get crowded in the room. From the 850 area code, the Emerald Coastline of Pensacola, Florida, making his way to the ring, the man in black, the Buckster. What's going on, Buck?
What's up, everybody?
Hey,
All
Buck.
right.
Hello, hello.
All right, packed house. Let's get back to it. Eminem, same question I had for Tiffany. When you're going out in public, should the focus be more on being presentable or just being comfortable?
Really, it all depends on your gender. You know what I'm saying? If you're a dude, it really don't matter. But if you a female, you know what I'm saying? It's like shit, man. You don't want to be toe up. You know what I'm saying? Because first impression is last impression. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not a mechanic or nothing, but my dad was a mechanic growing up, so he's also a minister. So he would go from one extreme to the other. So like early on, you know, that's what I had to look at. I see my dad, he might run somewhere and oil and shit on his hand, but my mother, nah, she's gonna be 10-10 wherever she go. It ain't gonna be no going in the store, rollers in your head and house shoes, none of that shit. I ain't never seen no shit like that. As a kid. So naturally what you see as a kid gonna influence you as a man, because you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying, depending on what time period you're from, was the a lady should be seen, not heard. So that kind of your attire and all that kind of just went with that. Now you say that shit now, the cancel culture and all that, but fuck cancel culture. Cancel me, goddamn it. That's why I am the original show legend, because I love this freedom of speech. But yeah,
All right. Are those crickets I hear? I can't tell what that is I hear in the background.
yeah. So since the hurricane, man, it's a whole bunch of night bugs or something back there. Yeah.
All right, no problem, no problem. So
Near damn pond.
let's see, Bill, let me go back to you. And what about if you're going somewhere like a gas station? Okay, when all you have to do is stand outside for 3 minutes, stand outside your car and pump your gas. Is it okay just to be comfortable then?
You can be comfortable. However, like the stylist was stating, put on a pair of jeans or something. You never know who you may run into. I've had it happen to me before, an emergency right then and there. And I'm guilty to say I think I had on a bunny and some sweatpants. And
Mm.
that was I had on a
No,
bunny.
ma'am.
I need to go in the store for a goodie powder. I had the worst headache. But
No,
hey,
ma'am.
you have an emergency. I had got a call. That was the most embarrassing. And my sister was looking at me like, you ought to be ashamed. We all pulled up together to the hospital. She was like, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And that was the last time I've done it. Now, around the house, yes. But at the foot of my bed, just for precaution, I always have a pair of jeans. Just because of that happening, I always have a pair of jeans and a t-shirt at the foot of my bed so I can get up and go. Now, sometimes the bonnet will be in my purse just in case it's raining or something. But other than that, because you just never know.
But see, that's why they have purse-sized umbrellas. Like the bonnet, she's comfortable. The bonnet, she holds you down. The bonnet can even be seen by the UPS man when he arrives earlier than the expected delivery time. They told you. She doesn't have to travel with you everywhere, though. She needs a break too. She needs some alone time.
She does. That's true. And I have like 3 or 4. I have custom, but I love them for around the house.
They're perfect for around the house.
I've learned my lesson. Like, because I used to like, it's nothing but a bonnet. My hair done up under here, But no, that wasn't cool.
That's what hats are for.
First impression is everything.
That's what hats are for.
First impression is everything. I've learned my lesson with that.
All right. So, Ray, what's your take on it, man? Just a quick run to the gas station store, something like that. Do you still have to be mindful of what you're wearing?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't think you always have to get dressed up, but I think that if you go into the store, everybody should have a nice pair of jeans or a pair of shoes or a hat or, a quick outfit that you can put on and go where you have to go. But I tell you what I don't like, what I don't see. This is a very serious topic that we have going on here tonight. It's too many folks, particularly in the Black community, I see with different color hair, eyelashes, not being dressed appropriately, pajama pants. Who else to talk to somebody that looks like that? I would rather take a dog out to dinner than take somebody out who looks like that. I'm just being honest. Now, the thing
are they
with
coming
all
to the
this,
date like this?
Listen, they're in the street like this. If you're in the street like this, who takes you seriously? You see, black folks the same everywhere. We just talk different. So no matter what city you in, you see the orange hair, you see the purple hair, you see the green hair, you see the long eyelashes. You see it no matter where you at. So now, to me, it's a situation that it shouldn't. It's embarrassing to a certain extent. And then I understand that the bodies are comfortable and everything else, but they're not acceptable in society. Because who else do you see doing that? You see the Spanish girl doing that. You see the Chinese girl doing that. You see the Indian girl doing that. And then these women are mothers, or they're looking for mates, and they're trying to talk to people looking like that. And that's supposed to be acceptable. I mean, to me, your dress code is everything. I don't say you gotta put on Gucci and all that every time you go out, but you're supposed to be presentable. If you're gonna wear a hat, make sure it's a clean hat. You go wear shoes, put on some clean shoes. You go put on some sweatpants, make sure they don't have no holes in them. I don't think that's asking too much. But but me, I disagree with it. I don't know what everybody else gonna say, and I just say what I'm thinking.
All right. Anyone want to respond to that?
I'd like to jump in.
Okay.
I get where you're coming from. I think they're, like my friend, she hit the nail on the head. She put words to something I couldn't even verbalize when she said, "You're never too sick to put on a pair of jeans." And she said that like 8 years ago. I think, so, and part of it, I think, is also generational. The colored hair, the long eyelashes, you see that it's particularly heavy in younger women that are like, they are really big on social media and YouTube following those trends, because you didn't see this kind of stuff. It's cyclical. So you're seeing them experiment. It's self-expression. They're young. The bonnets in public, that's an entirely different conversation. But I think all of it falls under the umbrella of respectability politics, which is very, it's fraught. I think it's a never-ending conversation that needs to be had. I do think it's hard to take somebody serious when you see them that way.
Yeah.
It just really, if this is what you do when you're going to be amongst the public, what do you look like at home? When you can let loose, where do you go from there? Like you're already loose. How much further can you go?
I mean, and that's a great point. And you mentioned age when you talked about younger people. And Buck, I'm gonna swing over to you. Does age play a role? Is it more acceptable for men and women who are younger to dress more comfortably than someone who may be over 30, over 40, or over 50?
Well, I mean, I think to a certain degree it does, because I mean, you always see from time to time that, some people say, they'll look at somebody that's 50 years old and wearing something that somebody should be wearing, that somebody 20 years old would be wearing. But like, that's not appropriate for you to be wearing. But me personally, I think you should, dress appropriately. All this crazy stuff that people are wearing nowadays, I'll take Cam Newton, for example. I always call him Pam Newton, simply because he dressed half the time he's dressing like a dang girl instead of a guy. He's wearing pants above his ankles, which is ridiculous. And these hats, they look like they come out some kind of cartoon thing. And his hair's all over his head, looking like a Dragon Ball Z character. If you're dressing like this, coming to a press conference to be in front of, people on TV, and people stereotype pretty regularly here in this country. So with all that being said, and this is how you present yourself in front of an audience, talking to people about an upcoming game and things of that nature, you're not going to be taken seriously in any stage, any facet of the whole situation. So guys need to be dressed appropriate. Women need to dress appropriate. You step out the house, you should be 10-10. That's how I came up. That's how my mom raised me. Make sure there's clothes that you wear at the house. There's clothes that you wear out. The clothes you wear out, you don't wear around the house. The clothes you wear around the house, you don't wear out. And it's just that, you dress to impress, whether it's work, whether it's home, or going to the store, whatever you're doing. When you go out, be more than presentable. So that's just the way I came up, and that's the way I still roll to this day.
All right. And back to you, Crystal. As far as the age thing, does the age matter? If you're a certain age, can you get away with just being comfortable?
Well, I guess that would depend on it really depends on what you're wearing. I don't think necessarily clothes have an age per se, but I think it does have a body type. I mean, if you are in your 50s or even 60s or whatever, and you still have a body like you're in your 30s or 20s because you stay in shape, then sure, you could wear something that's a little more tight-fitting or revealing. But then that goes with your class and style. Would you wear something that is showing cleavage everywhere or whatever? Would you do that? And probably no, but you will wear your exercise clothes or whatever. I don't really wear jeans anymore.
Bougie.
Well, no, because something beautiful came out. It's called the yoga pant. And I wear that. I wear my leggings and stuff like that. I mean, that's just so comfortable. So no, I'm not usually wearing jeans. I mean, that's just a preference of mine. But I do wear jogging suits, but I guess I wear more Adidas, those kinds of jogging suits, quote unquote. So those kinds of suits are on standby for me. Like if I just like they're running to the store or something like that. Usually I'll just have somebody go to the store for me anyway, if I'm tired or whatever. But if I have to go, then yeah, I'll just throw on, Adidas pants and a t-shirt, then I'm good, you know. But I don't really think, like I said, I really don't think age really has a lot to do with that. I think that has to do with, you know, respect level of yourself and who you are and who are you trying to attract, and looking at you, whether it be a male or whether it be just an impression of you. You know, there's a lot of people who will say, I do what I want, wear what I want, and I want people to notice me and that kind of thing. So it does go into personality and what you're trying to say to the world.
All right. Crystal, you're always well dressed on the show, so if I saw you in sweatpants, I probably wouldn't even recognize you. And so this is a question just to whoever wants to respond. What about the time of the day? Does that matter? If you're going somewhere like a Walmart at 1 a.m. or a gas station at 6 a.m., does it matter then as far as your attire? Does that make a difference? Any leeway there?
Yes, still be dressed. I'm telling you from experience. But I'll always be dressed. And at 6 a.m., I'm up dressed. You know, I work in the school, so I'm up dressed anyway. I don't think it matters. You have to be presentable. Like I stated, anything can happen at any time. And it's just to how you are raised. Each generation is raised differently. And I want to piggyback a little bit about age. I honestly see the older individuals, they're always presentable because that's how they were brought up and raised. Now, a lot of people that I see dressed what people would say any kind of way, they're actually younger or a college student. And that's what I've experienced most of people dressed any kind of way was being off in school. Like I just woke up and had to come to class, brush my teeth. Like, why would you do that? But I wasn't raised like that. You know, I wasn't raised like that. And it kind of did. You see it every day. It brushed off on me a little bit, but as far as my mom and family, no, get up, put some clothes on and, you know, look like yourself. And people actually were like, why are you up and dressed? I used to get that.
Like you were doing something wrong.
Like I was doing something wrong. That's how I was raised. Right. Like mama didn't say anything to you, you know. So.
Okay. And so let's talk about celebrities because, you know, they have a huge influence on fashion. And so I'm going to ask this question to the ladies and then I have a question for the fellas. I'll get back to you on that, Eminem. But for the ladies, and this is for whoever wants to respond, what's your take on Lizzo? You know, does she represent women empowerment to you with her fashion choices?
No, she does not. I think Lizzo has some serious self-esteem issues. If you watch her and listen to her completely, not just statements here and there, if you really listen to her, she goes from crying to being, I mean, within the same, I guess, tape or whatever she's doing video, she'll go from crying into, oh, well, forget it. I'm this. I'm great. I'm beautiful. See, there's some issues there. And I'm coming at it from probably more so looking at her from the counselor lens. But I don't think she necessarily represents empowerment. Even though a lot of people do see that, I don't. But that's my opinion.
Okay. And any of the other ladies agree, disagree?
I don't necessarily see her from a place of empowerment, but more as relatable in her her continued progress for self-love and self-acceptance. That's what I see from her. Her choices, her fashion choices, when she's taking pictures, to me, it's so fun and campy. It's over the top where it's costuming. It's not necessarily her individual style. So what she's choosing, I'm a fan because it's fun. It's, like I said, it's camp. It's theatrical. Is she probably wearing, you know, that Hershey's chocolate dress to run to Trader Joe's? Probably not. She's probably wearing, you know, a short set or something. So for most of her visible choices that I see, I'm a fan. I don't really think that so much her personal style is as it's her preparing to go on stage.
Yeah, her whole idea is to be a shock person. She's trying to shock you.
Yeah, she's a show woman.
For many reasons. I think some of it is because she's a larger girl, so she is trying to tell everybody, I can wear this too. I can be sexy too. And she's really putting it in your face for that reason. Just like some others, Cardi B, they do this. It's the same for the same reason, to be talked about, to be, to shock you. Yeah, absolutely. So I agree with that. I mean, it is part of the show.
Yeah. Belle, what's your take on it?
I believe she is doing it to show that a woman of her size can have a statement in the industry, entertainment that she's in. I don't believe it's who she is, like the style, our stylist was stating. I don't believe she would put that on just to run into the store. However, while she's entertaining, taking her pictures, she is showing self-love and, trying to raise her own self up with the entertainment industry, actually.
All
More
right.
so on that.
All right, cool. And in the chat room, Shanika up in Missouri says, I am all for confidence, but Lizzo doesn't represent for the larger woman. The things she does seems tacky and tasteless. I love her music, but she seems to strive for attention. All right. It's coming from Shanika. And so, fellas, let me get you all in on this. And let's see. I'm going to go to Eminem. And Eminem, I'm going to ask this question. I hope the show doesn't go off the rails here. Eminem, Lizzo can wear an outfit, with her booty cheeks out, or Rihanna can wear a see-through dress, and it's called women empowerment. So are guys like Harry Styles or Jaden Smith, when they wear a dress, is that a form of male empowerment?
Hell no. Oh man. Not empowerment. That's going it's male and that type of shit is not in the same category. Now what I don't like is stuff like where okay, I take like Lizzo for example. I'm not really familiar with her, but just say if that was like a video vixen doing the same thing, and some of the same people that's saying that's empowering and that's sending a message and that's uplifting. Well, when it's somebody else, and this kind of going back to the young lady was talking about body types and stuff, then it turns to, oh, it's what this I can't keep up with all these modern words they got for males. Shit, not chauvinist. That ain't the word from y'all. Help me out. Misogyny or something like that.
Yeah, chauvinist,
Nah,
misogynist.
Yeah, misogynist and all that stuff like that. So I think that's kind of where it goes now. When a man do something that's up to the 90s. Now after that shit started getting gray. But up to the 90s, I mean, if a guy, came somewhere and, pretty much looking like a player, looking like a pimp or something, he was, demonized by the status quo, because the one trend that very heavily influenced me, and I still do it on certain occasions, man, was like the, like in the, Dolomite and Rallo and niggas from the 70s, man, had the shirt button down low, do a few push-ups trying to get that. Yeah, trying to do all that. Yeah. So I mean, but
Rallo.
Yeah, Rallo.
You go somewhere like that, people looking and shit, and it's inappropriate. So my thing is like, hey, it's a double standard. So it's like, if it's a man type of deal, you gonna get persecuted for it. But now if you a dude and you like, pulling some Lil Nas X shit or something like that, well then it's looked at different. But if you come in looking like you about to take the place down and you looking like you about to have, remember Rick James on that that cover with the Stone City band, and had the holes at his feet, pulling on his leg, and he's standing up with some leather pants. If you're looking like that, see, then it's a whole nother connotation. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel it's discriminatory, and I don't like it.
We shouldn't discriminate against pimps. We really shouldn't.
Right.
They need equal representation too.
Right.
Exactly.
It's hot out here for a pimp.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
13 all day.
Okay.
All
right. What up, Ryan? Okay. Any of the other guys want to chime in on that as far as dudes wearing the dresses? I mean, is that a form of male empowerment? Is that a confidence that kind of takes their masculinity, like they're showing that they own their masculinity?
They own their feminine side of what they own. Come on now. I mean, I'm not a fan of all this dressing up like women and all this kind of crap and being empowered. You're not being empowered. You look like an idiot, if you ask me personally. I mean, a man should dress like a man. He should look like a man, wear a suit, wear a tie, wear your pants down past your ankles. You're not getting ready for the flood of 1979. You look like
you were bothered by those ankles. You were bothered by those exposed ankles.
Wide. They're in right now.
I mean,
I'm gonna go on record right now.
Shorts are in.
I'm gonna go on record right now. I love Cam Newton and his style.
I mean, Cam Newton look like a damn mix between Dragon Ball Z and a girl.
I'm gonna have to look him up to see what
he looks completely retarded. He does not look like a man.
It's wild, and I love it. He makes sure it will be a tartan clad blazer with
everybody has a right to their own style. If you like it, that's great. But he looks like an idiot.
I would like to ask a question. What about that style you say you like?
Everything about it is they're individual pieces that harmonize perfectly. Cam Newton, he does a whole lot with his looks, and I'm here for it. He came in with a driving scarf over his hair at one press conference, and I was like, were we in a convertible? Probably. Okay. What do you got to, what, we already know how you do on the field, so let's see what else, let's see what you do with the closet. I'm here for it.
He looked like Thelma and Louise with that crap on his head. Come on, now you gotta look like a man.
He coming to Thelma and Louise.
Every one of his individual elements
I think that a guy
plays so well.
When a guy gets dressed like Q sweaters are well dressed, mature man. That's what a guy's supposed to look like if he's singing or whatever he's doing. Now, if you want to come in and put on all these funny colors and raising up your pants 6 inches and all that stuff, if he didn't have money, he wouldn't be trying to do that. Okay. Because wherever he comes from, how is that acceptable? How do you disagree with that?
I'm gonna say again, generational thing. He's younger. He's what, 26, 28?
No, so 30.
Is he? He's 30. Okay. He's what?
30 something.
Okay. Yeah, I don't like the hair. I'm not really into that hair, and I like the scarf though for myself.
Listen, the silk blouse, the cut of the blazer, I think it was a Gucci or one of the maybe a Halston Heritage or something, vintage print scarf. It looked like he was in a 1940s Corvette with the windows down, and he wanted to make sure it was everything was tied down.
Well, the 1940s weren't good years for us. The 1940s weren't good years for us.
Well, it looks like he doesn't choose one kind of style. He just does whatever.
He's chosen a mix of so many different high quality, well cut.
I don't see really anything wrong.
Hey, Tiffany,
that fit him so well.
Tiffany,
even exposed ankles. I'm here for it.
In the chat room, Ryan chimed in from Mississippi, and he says you only want to wear Cam's clothes. You don't love him. You love his closet.
I love him and his closet, Ryan. I love him and his closet. If he would let me tour it, I would take some photos and be very happy for an hour. But if I had that in my closet, I would be happy as well. But I love that
Why don't you
he
take his
knows
clothes
what
out
he
of the
sees.
closet so therefore he can stay on the football field? Because obviously his wardrobe choices is also affecting his football play.
Is
I
it
don't think so.
really?
He's
Is it? Okay.
that's a separate conversation.
That's
I don't
a
think that's
different,
so
totally
much his
different
word.
conversation.
Yeah, I don't think that's so much his wardrobe that's affecting his passing rating, but that's just me.
Yeah.
But he
All right.
chooses things that fit his body, that work with a color palette, that look great with his skin. He's not afraid to show his ankles. I wish he would actually add a finishing pop with that ankle exposure and put on a really good pair of dress socks.
Oh, I
Dress socks.
love socks. Yeah, with
Dress
a
socks are
guy
such
when they have those really good
yes.
socks on and have you got to have on ankle pants in order to show off the socks.
Otherwise,
Well,
they're
I'm
only
That is
seen
so
when you
cool.
sit
Why
down.
don't you go ahead and add
Yeah.
an anklet to
Oh
it?
yeah, when you sit
But
down
this
and cross your legs.
this is
Oh
the
my
funny
God.
Yes,
thing.
it's a wonderful
Ladies will
finishing
say
touch.
these ladies will say they like that kind of stuff. Then a guy on the down low and they sitting around talking to each other, wondering what the hell happened.
Just
Okay,
because I
you
like the
saw
way
what
I
someone
happened.
disagree.
dresses doesn't mean
You
I'm gonna
saw what
get with
happened.
them.
Just because
Not
a
saying
guy
nothing
takes
against
pride in
Cam
his
in
appearance,
particular, but if a man
What's wrong
is
with
shopping
dressing
in a
nice?
woman's store, if a man is dressing in a woman's store, it's something wrong with that. Now, don't get me wrong, I like nice clothes and nice shirts and all that, but it's gonna come off a man's rack.
What's going on?
You can't give me no Birkin purse if I can't sell it.
but I don't. Now, I've not seen Cam carry a
I
Birkin.
agree with you there,
If
brother.
he
No,
does,
you can't give me
I'm-
one of these purses if I can't
I
I'll
sell
say
it.
if he does, that's a
Yeah,
$10,000
I know they're
handbag.
really into the man purse, but it depends on the purse.
120,000,
I mean,
100,000, whatever it is.
yeah,
If I can't sell it, you can't give it to me.
Ryan said his old lady better not ever tell him to show his ankles.
well,
What?
not everybody should be showing their ankles.
Thank you. If you don't moisturize, if you act like you're afraid of body
Just
lotion,
saying.
please go ahead and keep your pants to the top of your
Right.
tennis shoes.
Yeah, you'll get Buck upset if you show your ankles. And
Yes.
Bill
He has
Bill
feelings
Janice
about
had
those
to
ankles.
drop off. She had something come up. She had to drop off.
Aw.
But all right, a couple more questions. We'll wrap things up, and we'll talk about when it comes to dating. Regardless if you're meeting in a coffee shop or a 5-star restaurant, is what your date wearing the first time you meet him or her important to you? And Ray, I'll start with you. Really quick, is it important what your date has on the first date?
I mean, as long as she's presentable and she's a nice person, I'm happy with that. Now, I'm not telling the woman to go out here. She got to have a fancy bag. She got to look like this and that and spend $1,000. No, she don't have to do that. As long as she's presentable, as long as she looks good and looks like a lady, I'm happy with that.
Okay. And Crystal, what do you think? First date, you show up. Is how he looks going to determine what happens.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and it should be appropriate to where we are. I mean, if you're at a coffee shop, I don't want you wearing a 3-piece suit or whatever, even though you can wear a 3-piece suit. But
Good point.
yeah, I mean, so that would depend. You should be, your environment is important too. You should blend nicely with where you are. But no, I mean, it does show. You should show your personality. However, I mean, if you come in with, I don't know, like an orange suit on,
With
I don't
numbers
think
on
we'll
the
have
back?
a lot to talk about except for your orange suit. But
Oh, that type of orange suit.
I
I thought you meant like property of Wayne County on the back or something like that.
Oh, well,
no. I don't think you can go on a date when you're in that suit. You shouldn't. You should have more important things to focus on.
But no, it is important. It is important because it does represent who you are. Again, you want to put your best foot forward. It's first date, first impression. Is this really who you are? But like I said, you can be, if you're a casual person, then you need to dress casually, but you can do that and still look good because there's so many great casual styles and vice versa. If you're someone who likes to dress, go ahead, put on that thing. But I really want to see it. I want to see who you really are, because I don't want you wearing a suit or wearing something trendy, and that's really not who you are. And every time I see you, I never saw that really cool outfit again. I was like, hey, what happened to that guy? I was into him. So.
Okay. And Buck, what do you think about first dates? This is for you or Eminem, but if a woman shows up on a first date, is how she look going to determine if she's long term or short term or no term at all? And Buck, do you allow women to show their ankles? That's okay, right?
Yeah, that's fine. You know, you dress to impress, man. I mean, you gotta look good. If the girl is not put together good when I see her for the first time, that's probably going to be the last time. I mean, that's not going to be the complete deciding factor. It's got to be the total body of work. But it's definitely gonna, if she's not dressed right, it's definitely going to, there's some points going to be taken off. But I mean, same thing with me. I mean, you have to make sure that you gotta dress to impress, whatever you feel comfortable in, but make sure it's neat in appearance. You don't want to show up raggedy, shirt wrinkle, pants wrinkle. But man should look like a man, not like some idiot. And a woman should look good and very presentable as well.
All right. And well, let me ask Eminem. I'm gonna come to you. I'm gonna ask Tiffany something really quick. Then I'm gonna give you the same question, Eminem. And this is the last question. Tiffany, tattoos are a thing. It's a part of style, and some people will say it's even a part of fashion. Is how many tattoos you have, where they're placed, the type of design. Does all of that consist is all of that a form of showing pride in your appearance, in your opinion?
I don't think that's necessarily a pride as a more self-acceptance and self-expression issue, because I'm thinking of two male models that I follow in particular, and they are tatted from the base of their neck all the way down to their feet, and they stay modeling for Gucci, Chanel, and very, very high label brands. I don't think it's a pride so much as an expression thing. I'm into tattoos because I want to know the story behind them. You didn't choose this sleeve out of nowhere. You got a weird button nose tattoo on your forearm. What's that about? Oh, well, that was my dog that passed away. I'd had him since I was 8. Now I go and, that's the stories that are behind that tell me far more about you as a person than if you just said, no, I'm not really into him. Okay, that also tells me something. You're not into him. You're probably not going to like mine then. So I don't really know where we're going to go from here. Tattoos, when they start moving onto the face and neck, now I'm like, we're getting into a kind of iffy area. Some of them.
What if it's a good story behind it?
And there's got to be. I don't know anyone, and I know a few people that have face tattoos. There's always a story behind it. Sometimes it's like, yo, my buddy needed practice. I've known him for a while. That bottle of Jack got me. I woke up. He handed me an ice pack, said it'll be fine. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, it looks like it's healing well, so you got that going for you. Like, there's always a story behind a face tattoo. I don't know if it's going to have us walking down the aisle after I hear it. But go ahead, tell me. Let's see where it goes.
All right. And Eminem, what's your take on tattoos, man? Is that a form of fashion to you? Can someone show pride in their appearance based on the tattoos they have?
Well, for guys, I mean, this is a multi-gender, or we just talking about with women?
I mean, in general.
Okay, well, like with a guy, it really don't matter as long as it ain't really, gang related or something like that, because you basically gonna be involved for the rest of your life if you ain't really just doing certain things no more. But other than that, it is what it is. But with women, well, it's a double standard, man. It's just like you can do what you want, but I have more respect for like women that are tatted up, that are like more into the arts, because most of the time they truly have a story. They truly do other stuff, but like chicks that just randomly do stuff, especially when they homemade and shit like that, the connotation is totally different. I mean,
yeah.
the placement might be the same, but it's a whole nother connotation. It's like, okay, like I'll give you 2 examples. You could take 2 two when I'm using females. You take two females, both of them maybe just say 24, 25. You go to I don't know, somebody from art school or something. Man, you sit down with that chick, you won't even be looking at them tattoos because you vibing on what she talking about, whether you agree with the shit or not. Then you see somebody else and they really don't know why they got the shit. They don't even know the nigga that put it on. Then now the connotation is like, okay, you trying to find yourself. Maybe you trying to get your mental health intact and all this bullshit. I'm just saying it's a whole nother. So it ain't. So with that being said, it ain't about the physical tattoo. It's about what's about you. You know what I'm saying?
What the tattoos represent.
Yeah, I know a lot of weird people. I mean, a lot of weird people, but because I know to deal with them, to me, they not even weird no more. But if somebody else was doing the same shit they was doing, they look stupid because they don't really know why or rhyme or reason what they doing. See what I'm saying?
Okay.
It makes sense, but it don't make sense. You see what I'm saying? Y'all lost?
Oh, we're with you.
You know,
No, I kind of get what you're saying, Eminem. I kind of follow.
you know, it's almost like I use another example, and this somebody Crystal definitely kind of can relate to a little bit. Dwayne Johnson, because I done heard her say it before. Like
A few times, yes.
his sleeve, his stuff from his mom's side, the Polynesians and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. See, even if you don't really like tattoos, but once you start hearing and understanding, see, you that'll have a whole nother connotation than just some dude trying to be like some other dude in the projects and he just doing shit. See what I'm saying? It's gonna have a whole nother connotation. Yeah. Right. So that I guess that's my spin on it. It's like if I don't know why, if you can't sell me on what the hell is going on, then I really don't get it, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. When we talking about extreme stuff, now I ain't talking about just one or two. I'm talking about the people that got full sleeves, the whole body, and all that stuff like that. I mean, you know, if you just say just cause it look good, that ain't quite deep enough. I need more than that.
Okay, so you like Tiffany? You need a story.
Yeah.
Something, some heritage or cultural, or something like that.
Yeah.
I love the artistic. I love the artistic behind it, but if you actually say, you know, yeah, we mapped out this piece. It was 16 hours. This is, you know, from my grandfather that was in the Navy. Like, oh, okay. Not only is it beautiful, it means something. We're not going to have to spend a couple $1,000 getting this lasered off later when you say, oh, this trend is over. I'm over it.
Right.
Right. People putting like, you know, snacks and shit on their arm, and some motherfucker put a barcode, like a QR code on his arm for the COVID card or something. I mean, come on, man, that ain't that damn serious. See, that shit don't see that stuff. I don't get that. I don't get that kind of stuff.
Do y'all remember? It was probably about 10 years ago, and it was a photo that went viral. This young woman that was a photographer, and she had one of her first cameras that was like tattooed on her forearm. So when she would do this and hold her forearm up over her eyes in photos, it looked like she was holding a camera up to her.
Cool.
And I was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Bold choice. I wouldn't have done it. But again, story there.
Yeah.
Does it still hold up? That one I think will hold up a lot better than the people that were getting the mustaches tattooed on their finger and then taking, you know, putting it over under their nose and taking those pictures a few years ago. I'm like, that's not.
Yeah.
You know what people do with their money.
You're covering that with a Band-Aid every day.
And what I can't stand is when a bunch of studio gangsters do the shit, man. It's like, nah. You trying to design your rep. You ain't did all that shit.
Right.
All right. So we'll get ready to wrap things up. You know, next week, the Talk to Q radio show, we'll be discussing a relationship topic. Are you a control freak? And how do you recognize one? My panel and I will discuss red flags to watch out for to avoid controlling relationships, as well as discussing how to evaluate yourself to see if you are a control freak. That's September 7th at 7:30 p.m. Central here on T2Q. Go to talktoq.com or search YouTube for Talk to Q for more information. And, you know, hit the subscribe button while you're there. I just hit 100 subscribers this week, and I'm shooting for 150. So do your thing, contribute, help a brother out. Final thoughts. Do people still have pride in appearance And let's see, Ray, I'll start with you, man. Get your final thoughts on the evening.
Yeah, it was an interesting show, interesting topic. Something that to be talked about. I just think that if you're going to go out, you should be presentable. You don't have to be flashy. You don't have to be fancy. You don't have to have a lot of name brands. But you should be clean and you should be presentable. As far as ladies now that feel like they need to be comfortable as far as wearing bed clothes out in public, that's never going to be correct. And I think they know better, but they just still want to do what they want to do. And then when they don't receive the affection that they seek, then they wonder why. But I think that they should change the way that they do things. And on the other hand, guys, the same thing. I think that you have to be presentable. You have to dress for where you're going. You can't, try to be thuggish everywhere you go. You may have to put on some dress pants. You may have to put on a nice shirt, and you may have to change up the way you do things. That's just the way it goes, and I don't think that everybody should be an individual because if you got too many individuals, then you got too many people not doing the right thing. But it's a good show, great topic, and everybody have a good night.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. And shout out to Latasha. And Crystal, your final thoughts, please, ma'am.
Well, I would say that I'm sort of not really into tattoos as far as that's concerned. As far as men wearing them or women, it doesn't really matter. But mostly I think it's guys who end up getting like the neck and the sleeves where you can't even really see a design. All you see is dark ink. And I don't know. I'm not really into that. I don't think I would be too into a guy who was really, especially who had a neck tattoo and moving up his face and yeah, that's ridiculous to me. But because I can't take you anywhere now. I mean, what are you gonna wear? Turtlenecks? I mean, it's ridiculous. But yeah, they should have a story. They should have something. But now it's a trend. You don't know if they have a story or not. It's just everybody has tattoos, so I should get one too, or whatever. So I mean, I don't know. But for the people I've met who have tattoos, they do have a story. There is a story to each tattoo and a why, and it's quite fascinating to hear as well. But as far as just your general dress, it's like I said before, you should always dress according to who you truly are. And I mean, I'm not into pads. I'm not into that kind of thing. There's nothing wrong with being trendy. I like that, of course, be trendy. But you don't wear something that you are truly not comfortable with wearing. And that's with anything across the board as far as your personal style, whether it be what you're wearing, your hair, the way you present yourself. Always go for what is truly you. And then people will see that and they will love that. I grew up around guys who wore nothing but jeans and white t-shirts all the time. But the jeans were creased and the white t-shirts were crisp. And that's why I always knew it doesn't matter what you wear, you can still look damn good in it. And neat and clean and, and all of that. That's my only thing. Just be neat and clean. Just look clean. Look like you took a shower or something. I mean, that's all I go for, as far as when I'm looking at someone, I'm like, wow, you look really clean. That's attractive.
All right. And plug what you do right quick.
Well, I'm an author, and you can go to crystalhickerson.com and check out all the things that I do there. I've done, of course, podcasts and all that kind of stuff before. Really focusing on my writing right now. So that's what I do. Check me out, whatever, or not. And it was great being on the show. And everybody have a wonderful evening.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It's appreciated. And Tiffany, I will go with you and your final thoughts.
my final thoughts when it comes to pride in appearance. Should we have a pride in our appearance? Yes. Do I see it a lot? No. I see people that have either said, well, as long as I'm comfortable, I'll allow my own personality to show through. And it's not because no one can hear you over your bonnet or see anything past your scuffed up house shoes. So pride in appearance, it's a thing. It matters. It matters not only to people that you may interact with, but it matters to you. That impacts our mental health. When you look your best, you act your best. Mind you, that there's a caveat. You've got some people that are dressed to the nines and you see them featured on American Greed. We're not talking about those people. We're talking about just, the people you run into at Trader Joe's that took the time to be intentional. Anytime we bring focus, not to the point of narcissism, but we say, hey, I've mapped out my day. I'm going to be productive. I'm going to meet someone new today, and this is going to be a fun adventure. I'm opening myself up to being expansive and seeing what the world has to offer. That impacts how we see ourselves and how we move in the world. So that pride in our appearance, while I don't see it a lot, I see it more than I thought we would in some of the younger people, and I'm here for it. It matters. I hope it's a thing that's not just a temporary wave, but more people will begin to actually say, okay, let's not just chase trends. Where am I going, and how do I want my style and my wardrobe to be a tool in my toolbox to help me get there?
Okay.
And Cam Newton's style is fantastic. Ignore what everyone else says.
She doesn't mind the ankles. All right. Let everybody know what you do and where they can find you.
All right. I am a personal stylist and style coach. And basically that's if a personal stylist and a life coach had a baby. So we use your style and your wardrobe to help kind of map out what some of your short-term and longer-term goals are, how you see yourself currently, how you see that end result person, what are the tweaks we need to make along the way, lifestyle and wardrobe wise. I am on Instagram at The Stylish Millennial. I'm also here on YouTube at The Stylish Millennial. So if you want to follow me on both those places, if you want to work with me, you can reach me in both of those places.
That's what's up. And I've been following her on IG for a minute. Her wardrobe is always on point. She gives great tips. And so be sure to check her out. Thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Eminem, shut it down for me, man.
Oh man, great show, man. Great having these guests. Great to see all the legends on there. Crystal killing them pearls and stuff. That's straight. A lot of people can't rock that shit like that. But yeah, man, great show, man. Great interesting points. Now I will say this, take y'all down memory lane now, and this is all about people being individuals or whatever. Remember, I'm gonna throw out 3 TV characters: Punky Brewster, what was Lisa Bonet character on Cosby Show?
Huxtable.
Denise.
Denise Huxtable, and then when in Different World, I'm gonna throw another one at you. Different World.
Whitney.
She Freddie. That's the one I was talking about. Freddie.
Okay.
Yeah. Them 3 right there, and then even Jada to an extent. You know how like everything was kind of against the grain and all that, But the thing about it is, based on those TV characters, they still had that confidence about themselves.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a lot of people just this monkey see, monkey do, and I guess that's what I'm saying. That for the people who say I'm my own individual, yeah, that's cool if that's truly you. But most of the time, that's not the case. Most of the time, you just all of us follow trends to an extent, but most of the time, you really don't know who the fuck you are. So when you do something stupid, it looks stupid because you're gonna make yourself look stupid because you can't explain why the stupid stuff is being done on you. Stupid. You see what I'm saying?
It's not authentic.
Yeah. So so like I say, man, when all that said, I like what the stylist in Texas was saying about the setting. I think she said that because that's what it's all about anyway. I mean, as far as like appearance on dates, I mean, if you doing a neighborhood version of Love and Basketball and you got your high school sweetheart that was a hooper, and then you was an athlete yourself, and say, hey, you want to shoot some ball for old time's sake? Well, why would you come out there in a 3-piece suit, or why would you come out there in a miniskirt? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You still kind of go with the setting. However, to send a certain message, you know, yeah, you can put on something a little tight. I'm just saying, you can, like, damn, we playing basketball, but this nigga know he got some good smelling cologne on. I mean, you gonna throw some little things in there to kind of throw it off a little bit, but you know, but you still going for the setting, you know, and that appearance is ultimate, because I always believe in controlling the narrative. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if a person really believe what they say and they let it manifest, then whatever they do, they can make the other person understand that, whether they like it or not. You know, that's why you got Reverend Ikes in the 70s. That's why you got Bishop T.D. Jakes now. I mean, that dude, I mean, I ain't trying to talk about, you know, nobody, no man of the cloth, but, you know, and definitely no homo, but I mean, the dude is pretty of an ugly cat. But he come out so strong with understanding women and all that stuff. You ain't looking at the black freckles on his jaws and the big gap and all that shit. I'm just saying, you ain't looking at that, because he controlled the narrative. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of people, and I think the other lady that got off had mentioned that, you know, you got to do what fits you. You know, like, you know, I'm gonna throw a shout out to what's his name? I'm about to say Barry Gordy, but Barry White in the 70s. Large guy, but his voice was so deep, and he kept his beard trimmed, and he had a nice grade of hair. So he controlling what you look at. So you ain't looking at his gut and shit. You looking at him. See what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
and the same thing with damn, that shit loud. Sammy Davis Jr. His eye was fucked up, but he could dance, and his hair was, you know, permed and slicked over. So he making you not look at, sir. He's controlling the narrative. And I think of a lot of Generation Z's could learn how to control the narrative. Then they will have a lot of less self-esteem issues and all that. They trying to look at somebody else and let that be their narrative. You got to control your own narrative, what you want people to think about you. And with that said, you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to beat this buzzer, but all that shit don't even matter, because at the end of the day, the man trying to impress the female trying to pull the dude, or even if she don't like the dude, she trying to get his wallet. So if you want to do that, write your congressman, your councilman, your alderman, whatever your city official is. You started on the docket, 1313. Let it pass, let it pass, let it pass, let it pass. You know, you will have economical ass boom out this world. You know what I'm saying? You know, you will have strong economy, just relationships so strong you can't imagine. You know, divorce court wouldn't even exist, because once you turn that filter on, and the few people that's left, that's not either John or Ho, they're gonna be great for each other, because ain't nobody gonna have no alternate, you know, ulterior motives. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be whatever it is. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, you need to do that.
You know, only Eminem can turn a show about fashion into legalizing prostitution, boy.
Controlling the narrative.
Controlling the narrative.
When you control the narrative.
Right, 6 pounds. Bring out them Benjamins. You see them walking in some 6 inches, and it's like, wow, what kind of setting is this? 6-inch pumps at a gas station in the middle of the hood? Wow, something's for sale.
Yes, it is.
Yes, very much so.
On that note, that's going to do it for this week's T2Q. We'll be back next week with another good topic for discussion, another great panel. I appreciate all of you. Also, I want to mention, I know Belle dropped off and Buck dropped off. You can find Belle on Twitter at Belle_Janice. So check her out. She also has a podcast that she's a part of on YouTube, and I'll definitely bring her back on in the future. But you've been checking out the Talk to Q radio show. I will see you all next time. Peace out.